Morning guys, so as you can see by my very pretty face, I've just woken. I have just awoken. It's, well, I haven't really. I've been up for about an hour. I get up at 7 o'clock nowadays, so it's probably a bit later than my last video blogs when I was getting up at like 5 a.m. to pose. Long gone are the days of getting up at 5 a.m. to pose, because quite frankly, I don't see a need in posing right now. Posing in the off season is actually an interesting topic. I think it's important, you know, now and again to have a pose and sort of see how you're looking, but for the most part, I think that staying under wraps and, you know, just doing the necessary or doing what's needed to hypertrophy or to create a hypertrophic stimulus, that's what we need to be doing, guys. Like, that's what you need to be focusing on, is just getting in the gym, training hard, progressing your logbook, and going home and eating enough. And that's what I've been doing for, you know, 6-7 months now. And it might not seem like that long, but, you know, I've added about 32 pounds of total body weight, as you can probably see by my face. And I'm actually about a week and a half into, actually no, a little bit, yeah, no, about a week and a half into a sort of, I don't like the term mini cut, because that kind of signifies that it's a harsh deficit. However, the further that I get into this, the more I realise that, one, my body composition was better than I thought it was. So I was carrying a lot of water. Basically, my approach to nutrition when I was gaining was very high carbohydrate. So I was carrying a lot of water weight. And that came off very fast. And then I noticed, I was like, oh, okay. You know, I'm actually not as fluffy as I thought I was initially. So there's a few things running through my head at the moment, but I'm going to see this phase through to what I wanted it to be, which was dropping down to the mid 160s, and I'm currently in the low 170s. Yeah, the low 170s. So about 5-6 pounds to go before I sort of end this phase and cap it off. But I'm not too sort of miffed about I'm actually like, I'm happy that I was, you know, better body composition than I thought I was. I mean, but I'm by no means, guys, am I sort of, you know, lean or anything like that. I'm just holding good body composition with relative terms to sort of where my body weight is to my stage weight. However, you know, I feel as if my most productive training was made in the 160s, and ever since I got into the 170s, I was progressing at the same rate that I was already progressing when I was sort of hovering the 160s, but with just added body fat. And I just want to see as to how I can be in the mid 160s, and then go from there, sort of with where my next move will be. What we're going to think about when it comes to what you do as a physique athlete in terms of adding scale weight is you've got to think about your next move. So like any sport that requires planning, bodybuilding is just the same. You're gonna have to think about what your overall long-term plan is, and then start to think backwards from there. So my long-term plan, you know, was initially to compete in 2020. But the way that this year is going, I'm impressed with the rate of progress, so I'm keeping an open mind as to when I might next want to compete. Whether that's 2020, whether it's 2019, I am yet to confirm that, and I won't confirm that until the end of the year. Most likely is when I'll start to think, okay, yep, cool, like, let's pull the plug and let's drop the hammer, so to speak, and get things moving and go into a contest prep. And in that moment, I don't want to have to lose 35 pounds in one big hit. I'd rather get some of the initial fat loss done, hover around a point at which I feel strong, feel healthy, feel good, and then start a prep from a really good start point, as opposed to starting a prep from, well, essentially, you know, a body weight that's high, an appetite that's, you know, completely diminished like it was last time, which is normally a sign that things aren't really being responsive. And you know, is force feeding a part of what we need to do as physique athletes? Maybe it is for some, but I think for most it's probably a sign that, you know, some things need to be looked at and reassessed, whether it's your nutrient timing, whether it's your meal options, whether it's your overall macronutrient ratio. And I'm aware I'm going off on a million tangents here, but I'm just trying to give value and talk about a few topics. So with the macronutrient ratios kind of thing, one of my friends, Jack, who may well watch this, Thorburn, he said very rightly, in the sense that a lot of people that struggle with their appetites are those people that are actually still trying to maintain a relatively low dietary fat intake in the off season. And I can totally relate, you know, because I've had periods of time where I've tried massing or gaining on very, very high carbohydrate intakes, very low fat, and sorry, I'm just trying to, there we go. And I've had good success with that in terms of, you know, benefiting training performance. And you know, obviously the carbohydrates are usually quite nice to eat post-show because you get a lot of them. But when the going gets tough, dietary fat is so fucking easy to eat, so easy. And obviously there is sort of an element of an upper range. We don't want to be consuming like crap tons of dietary fat, blunting digestion and just generally making people feel sluggish. But there's no harm in taking most people upwards of 100 to 150 grams of fat, and that is a lot of calories from dietary fat, and they're relatively easy to eat. You know, you think about things like coconut oil, you know, not avocado, that's not really that easy to eat. Dark chocolate, you know, nut butters, these things are just easy to get in. They're easy calories. But I also have sort of anecdotal experience of that. You know, at the peak end of my gaining phase, my dietary fat was 125 at the peak of my last, not this one, my last off season before contest prep dieting in 2017. And I felt really quite bad on that. My digestion just took a big hit, and my ability to assimilate food just seemed to be, absolutely abysmal. And I was having to resort to carbohydrate sources like granola for sort of, you know, meal 1, 2, 3 and 4, yeah. So so yeah, like, I think there's a fine balance between, you know, trying to have too much carbohydrates and too much fat, and once you find that good middle ground where appetite is good, you're in a good zone. So actually where I'm heading off to now, I'm pretty much there, is Platinum Gym. I'm going to buy a month. I'm just going to buy a month for the rest of this diet phase, and I'm going to do morning cardio here because it's literally about a 10-minute drive down the road. They got a Stairmaster, and I can just hop on that and get my morning cardio done. I'm wearing my Polar HR7 Bluetooth monitor, so I'm going to see as to how this accurately tracks my calories, because I was doing my power walks, right, and mate, I absolutely peg it, and I struggled to get my heart rate above 120, so that's not good. Like, I actually just want to just get it done. I want to get my heart rate up, get my bloody cardio done, and then get out. I just can't be bothered to walk. You know, during prep, when, you know, you're lighter and you don't want to do stuff that's going to ruin your training, fair play. But when I'm fat, all I want to do is just get a cardiovascular response, get my heart rate up, go home and get on with the stuff that I've got to do. I haven't got the time to be doing, you know, a lot of low intensity cardio, so I prefer to just do higher intensity and shorter time at this point. I'm also dropping my food a decent amount this week because, like I've said, I actually just want to get this phase over and done with. I'm getting a bit frustrated with having to sort of wait around for progress, and this isn't really meant to be a slow phase. So I'm just going to try and get this phase knocked out, done, boxed off, and then I can focus on getting back to gaining, and that's why I'm actually here, is gaining. You know, that's why I'm in this phase. So yeah, I'll I guess I'll talk to you guys probably later in the day, and I'll take you through a few bits, maybe some of my meals, if you probably you'll want to see them because everyone's bloody obsessed with food. But yeah, make sure you give the video a like if you're liking it already, and yeah, I'll see you in a bit, guys. What the fuck is this? I didn't do this. Sorry guys, I literally don't have a clue where that fucking came from, that sound. Music, god damn it. Oh dear me. Right, so cardio done, morning cardio done. Wow, look, an absolute tip. And now we're off to Tesco to grab some supplies for the rest of the day. I've got back into the habit of doing this stupid thing, and it's really frustrating. Right, so basically I'll explain the thing. Jack, I'm almost certain, it was definitely Jack. Jack definitely instigated it. Piad. There's so many Jacks that we have to signify which one it is. So Jack Piad definitely started the whole thing. And then me and Jack both started doing it. So then other people started doing it. And most recently, Christian's definitely doing it. And the thing is, it's addictive. So once you start doing it, you cannot stop. So everything you say with an element of sarcasm starts coming with a after it. And oh my god, I need to stop because me and Jack got into a really bad habit of basically every Instagram story we did was so uninformative and just absolute shite. So I went through a period of like 3 months of offering no value on the Instagram stories besides humour, and I don't think that's quite what I wanted to do with the stories, and I don't think that's what was Jack wanting to do either. So yeah, my total advice is to not get started with the whole thing, because it's just it's an absolute waste of time. Fuck's sake. God damn it. Right, off to Tesco, then we'll eat. Oh dear, I've got a parcel being delivered. Then we'll eat meal 1, which I'll show you. Carbs are redundant in meal 1. Meal 2 will be pre-workout, and I'm going to go to Platinum for legs because I had a look around. They've updated some of the equipment. They've got a hip thruster, which I'm not going to use today because I've got deadlifts tomorrow. But they've got some really good quad stuff there. So and I might give Jack a message, see if he wants to grab a session with me, but he'd probably want to stay in routine. So we will see. But most likely leg session going down at around about 2 or 3 p.m. 2 or 3 p.m, maybe a little bit earlier, and we'll see. I'll probably get Brad to film some of my stuff, and I've got obviously a tripod, and I don't know whether I'll film on my good camera or this camera. I don't know whether I want to just keep it poor quality for the sense of keeping it poor quality. But yeah, I'll speak to you guys in a bit. Maybe I can get some footage in Tesco, AJ shopping in Tesco. Okay guys, so just cooking up meal 1 here. We got 200 grams of 5% lean mince. Gonna have 52 grams, 52 of avocado. Whatever half a pack of this is, so about 150-ish grams of veg from this salad. Got some broccoli, tender stem as well on there. So meal 1 is usually, when I'm dieting, like I said, redundant of carbs, apart from just fibrous carbs from veg. And this is where I get the majority of my veg intake in, because normally pre-workout doesn't have that much. We'll see today as to what I go for, but usually it doesn't have that much. Post-workout definitely doesn't. Meals after that usually contain a little bit as well. So I try and have veg with most meals, but this is where the majority, the biggest hit comes in, because I don't want too much fibre surrounding the workout window, purely from a digestion point of view. So yeah, this is meal number 1. Yeah, stop it.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Come on. Yes, come on. Come on, there's at least 2 here. Come on, show me. Yeah, come on. Go! Get in, get in. Get into that shape. Keep that fucking face down. Come on, flat. Yeah, come on. Make it. Good. Fucking mine. Show. Make it. Good.
Oh, I didn't even press record. So, yeah, legs done today. I'm recording for YouTube today, by the way, Brad.
That's alright, I like being on the tube.
Yeah, I've got to look at that. Look at that sexy little boy. That's how you look attractive, guys. You don't look like me, pale and fat, and he's lean and tanned.
Too coat to tan and try and be lean.
But that was a good session. So I sort of started off with squats, which they felt all right. Like I sort of did a few doubles, sort of feeling them and trying to get a gauge on whether they were going to feel good or not. And I don't know, I think I fucked it today with stupidly doing the Stairmaster in the morning. That was an absolutely stupid fucking idea. But we all make mistakes, we all make errors, and learn a lesson from it at least. So that was the first sort of movement, so to speak. And then I realised that was going to go down the drain, so stopped that, moved on to a V squat. And the V squat was all right, you know. That was pretty good. I could connect well with that, and that would probably be a good move in like a prep phase, where we're trying to sort of, you know, target the muscle group without putting a lot of stress onto sort of the other areas that are trying to stabilize the load. So stabilizing muscles start to get a little weaker, like the sort of the lower back, and you start to lose fat around the hips. Looking for movements that can stabilize you is probably a bit of an advantage. After the V squat I did, so that was 2 sets, and then I did 2 sets on the pendulum, and that felt amazing. That was great. And then yeah, it was good work and a great spot from Mr. Brad.
There was no fucking spot, it was all you.
No spot. No spot is a good spot in my books. And then I don't know why we're saying we. Then I moved on to narrow stance leg press with a band, 4 sets, pretty short rest periods, high reps. That was painful. And then simply finished with leg extensions, calves, and the adductor, which I'm now having to add additional weight to. I'm just too strong, aren't I?
Yeah, it was a successful pin find, because we managed to find a template which we could place in the above stack to allow AJ to rep for multiple sets.
Yeah, rep for multiple sets. That was the goal. The goal was complete. So yeah, good session back at Platinum. Probably train there for at least 1 session a week. I've got a membership there. I've got a membership everywhere, to be honest. I'm just wasting money left, right and centre. Just forking out the cash everywhere, just flinging it around every gym in Sussex.
Gym hall, really.
So yeah, if you want to set up a gym in Sussex and you want to charge me an extortionate amount of money for a membership, I'll probably get it. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there because my anterior delt is on fire right now from holding the mobile device.